Hi, I'm Nathan, this is Chess 101, and today we're going to learn about castling. Castling is a special move involving the king and the rook, and is the only time you can move two pieces in the same turn. There are two ways you can castle. Castling kingside, or short, involves the king and the rook nearest to him. It looks like this. Notice here how the rook and the king each move two squares. Castling queenside, or long, involves the king and the rook furthest from him and closest to the queen. It looks like this. Notice how when castling queenside, the king moves two squares, just like when we were castling kingside, but this time the rook moves three squares. There are some rules you have to follow if you want to castle. First, there can be no pieces in between the king and the rook. Second, you cannot castle if you've moved your king or the rook you want to castle with. Even if the rook and the king move back to their original squares, you still can't castle. Castling must be the first move made by the king and the rook that it's castling with. Another rule is that you're not allowed to castle out of check. That means that if you find yourself in check, you're not allowed to castle to get out of it. Remember, you would first have to either block the check or capture the piece that is checking the king before you could castle. If you move your king to get out of check, you will no longer be able to castle. You're not allowed to castle through check either. The easiest way to think about this one is that the king has to move two squares in order to castle. If moving onto the first square would put the king in check, then the move is illegal. Castling is often a good idea because it can get your king in a safe position away from the center of the board.